Welcome back to Leadership Training Camp. In today's lesson, I want to talk about the power of daily R.A.M.s. R.A.M. means Rhythm of Accountability Meeting. I mentioned in our previous lesson about the power of daily goals. Well, this is what really helps solidify them into your culture. The Rhythm of Accountability Meeting that you have first thing the next morning, where people report on how well they did with the goals they had the day before. You know, it's great to have the daily goal, but if people aren't held accountable for it, then they become meaningless. What I like is a little 10-minute meeting, first thing in the morning. If you have multiple shifts throughout the day, then you'll have them at the beginning of each shift. All right, I like to have a scoreboard up, preferably, and we're going to have a R.A.M. meeting. We don't even sit down for it. It's like a roll call. It should take no more than maybe 10 minutes, and the leader doesn't have to do a whole lot except call the roll and have people come up and write on the scoreboard how they did based on the daily goals they had the day before. This creates incredible daily accountability. And the people who are doing well get it recognized, and the people who are doing poorly, it shows up relatively quickly. Like if you have a key activity of X number of appointments during a day, maybe everybody has a quota of 3. Well, in the morning they get to come up and report on how many shown appointments they had. Right? Isn't that a nice way to bring closure to yesterday's goal before we go into today? And let me tell you something. This creates a very positive peer pressure, because now they're not just reporting to you, the leader, they're reporting to the whole team. And so they're less likely to have several bad days in a row, because they don't want to be the one having to grab the red pen, because if you miss the number, you got to grab the red pen and put their number up on the board in front of their teammates day after day. They want to grab the green pen and put it up there with their chest stuck out and feel good about the contribution they made to the group overall. These Rhythm of Accountability meetings strengthen your culture. You have to take these principles and adapt them in a way that will work for you, but the principles are very applicable. You've got to have something that you're keeping score of, the daily activities, and then you have a reporting mechanism, the scoreboard during the R.A.M., that keeps people accountable for what they said they would do. And as they put the numbers up there, and if they miss them, you don't have to talk about them a lot, but you can get a commitment. Okay, now what can I expect from you tomorrow? All right, well, I'm going to write that down. I'm going to put that down on the board. That's your goal. Come on. Tomorrow I want you to go up there and I want you to grab that green pen and put that number in there. And this just changes the culture. Now, people may not always like it. They say, well, why are you putting the scoreboard up there and we all have to report all the time? Well, think about this. Which group of people are you going to have asking that question? It's the ones that aren't doing very well. But here's what you want to say. You want to put a very positive spin on it. You want to say, we want to do a better job of recognizing and celebrating excellence. And we haven't done a good enough job of that. I want everybody to see and recognize the people who are doing outstanding work. And so we're going to have it up here for everybody to get the pats on the back they deserve. That's why we're having them. Well, why do we have to have these meetings every day? That will be another question you get. Why do we need a R.A.M. meeting every day? A Rhythm of Accountability meeting daily? Because they create focus, and focus matters. And I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. I don't think you'll have somebody that says, I don't know about that. I don't know that focus is that big of a deal. I don't think that's likely to happen. And so you have these ready-made answers that overcome the concerns, the discomfort that this creates. You know why people get uncomfortable with this? Because they're growing. Whenever people are uncomfortable, that's a sign of growth. And reporting in front of their peers, holding themselves accountable for their performance the day before, is going to cause them to grow. You know, another reason I love these is so often when somebody has a poor month, they're really only held accountable once, and that's the beginning of the next month, if that. Sometimes they fade into the woodwork, and you don't see them for the first week of the next month, and they pop back up again, and they were never held accountable. And so this eliminates that. They understand they're going to be reporting every day, and the people who are doing really well, that we often overlook, take for granted, that never get any credit, they're going to get the recognition on that scoreboard that they deserve on a daily basis. Rhythm of Accountability meetings. You tie them in with your daily goals, and they become a very powerful leadership mechanism.